Hi, I hope you're doing well today. Um, I wanted to talk about why I've been away for a bit. Initially it was because my aunt was coming and I was still working full time, and I wanted to make every minute that I wasn't working dedicated to her with my undivided attention as often and as much as possible. She stayed She came in on a Sunday and she left on a Sunday. And I talk a lot about that in my previous video. Um, I I started getting autoimmune flare-ups. Um, Sorry, I'm putting my hands in my hair constantly because there's stuff blowing from the tree into my hair, but I guess that's okay. Um, I started getting autoimmune flare-ups a few days before my aunt was to fly in. And I'm guessing that that had much to do with stress, and projecting the worst and anticipating the worst. Now, I love my aunt and she is just a sweetheart and everybody would love her. But she does have some mental health issues. She's also dealing with some senility, and she could be a little bold sometimes, and I was concerned about how things were going to go with the food, how this was going to work in terms of cooking for her. Was she going to eat what I made, or was, I going to have to cook these different meals to provide for her? Um, I I was very concerned about the food issues. Um, Italian family, food is love, cooking, um, especially my go-to foods for the past, and lots of triggers, and the cookies, and so on and so forth. And all of that, I guess it, I guess I internalized that, even though I mentioned it briefly, and my body started attacking me about 3 days before my aunt was to arrive. And once she got here, things started to calm down a little bit, but I still had flare-ups while she was here, and unfortunately, she got to witness some of them. Random bloody noses out of nowhere. Um, at one point, I thought I was coming down with the flu. All my joints were achy, and my throat was terrible. I was losing my voice. I wasn't sleeping well, but there was no fever. There weren't even any sniffles. Um, there wasn't really any coughing. There were lots of migraines, and just I started to get my trigger finger again, where my hands and fingers were stiffening up and I couldn't move them. And the most visible were the nosebleeds. I'd be in my sleep and my nose would start bleeding and it would wake me up, or I'd be sitting and talking to my aunt and my nose would just explode. Not literally, but it would just start bleeding pretty badly. I'd be walking around just doing regular stuff, having a conversation, and my nose starts bleeding. Waking up with the headaches. I'm always dealing with fatigue. I dealt with fatigue long before I started Zepbound, and it's still not under control, and I don't really expect it to be in control because I don't believe that it's necessarily a result of the medication. It may be it may be increased from the medication, but it is not. It's definitely not the cause. It may just make it worse, but the fatigue was always there. And I do have autoimmune diseases, various conditions, some diagnosed and some suspected. It's not uncommon if you have an autoimmune disease and you know anything about it, it's not uncommon to have multiple different conditions. And my body is attacking me more and more lately. Um, Although it seems to be quieting down some. But that's why I haven't made any videos and I've been slow to respond. I'm having a pretty good day right now, even though I still don't feel great. I feel better, but I can also feel that I'm getting another flare up as we speak, so I don't know what my window is before I can't make videos again. And it's not just fatigue and pain from um rheumatoid rheumatoid arthritis, flare-ups, trigger finger, the nosebleeds, the migraines, the achy joints, the swelling, um, the lack of concentration, difficulty sleeping and getting comfortable, difficulty staying asleep. Um, there's other um, symptoms involved with that as well, which suddenly I can't remember my thought. But autoimmune disease is not fun. I have Epstein's Barr, I have vitiligo, I have rheumatoid arthritis, like I said, I have trigger finger. Um, I and so um, I've been tested multiple times for multiple sclerosis and for um, lupus. I don't get tested anymore for multiple sclerosis specifically, but I do repeatedly get tested for lupus. So far my organs are okay. I have had some pain and attacks behind my kidneys um the past 2 weeks. I've had angina attacks in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So that's a little concerning, but um I just wasn't feeling good. Oh, flare-ups. I couldn't talk. After my aunt left, my jaw started to stiffen. I had, particularly on my left side, I had terrible pain going up through to my ear, and it wasn't an earache or an infection, and my teeth are fine. It was an actual flare-up. My glands swelled up, and my jaw, it was very hard for me to talk for a little over a week. Um, I I wasn't eating very well because it hurt to chew or to open my mouth. It hurt even when my mouth was closed. Um, my ears were hurting, but there was no infection. Um, I I was seen by my doctor. She sent me a prescription for antibiotics if if I should need them. I'm a pretty good monitor of that because I've been going through this for so many years. I kind of know when I need to grab them and when I can kind of just ride it out and know that it'll probably subside in a few days, and that's what I usually try to do rather than take more meds. Because I don't want to become immune to the antibiotics. Um, so that's what's been going on, flare-ups and pain, lack of sleep, unbelievable fatigue. I mean, fatigue in and of itself is severe and extreme exhaustion, but even for the level of fatigue that I normally deal with, this was above and beyond. It was exponentially worse. like 5 times worse, at least, than what I'm used to experiencing on a regular basis. And that has been difficult. And it's been hard for me to keep up, not just on YouTube with videos and things like that, but even with work, with keeping up with writing, typing, that kind of thing for documentation and so forth. So that's why I really haven't responded. It's been hard to um, type back any kind of response. I did do some, I did try and get them a couple of days ago, go over the comments and respond, and I did again today. Excuse me. But it's been hard, excuse me, and I just kind of have to duck out when that happens, because it's just difficult. So, in any case, that's what went on. That's why I wasn't really around to make videos. And this will probably be it for a couple of days, for a week or so, maybe two. Um, because I'm just tired. And there's times where I just really don't feel good. And it's not a poor me. I also get hours where I feel, you know, pretty well. Not perfect, but pretty well. So, it's just I just kind of do what I can when I can, and that's the schedule that I'm on now. So that's what kept me for a while, and whenever I kind of duck out or you don't hear from me for a while, unless something, God forbid, were to happen to my husband, pretty much you can pretty much anticipate that it's probably an autoimmune flare up that's keeping me um out of the loop, that my body is attacking me and I just cannot function in a way that will allow me to make more videos or even type or communicate. But other than that, things are starting to get better. And all in all, today's been a great day. And I wish you well. Thank you for stopping by and watching. And I hope you have a great rest of the day and rest of the week. Bye.